prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Reading from the introduction to Teachings of Lord Chaitanya by Vishwaguru, His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Now we have a little sense of love. Why? It is due to love of Godhead. Anything which we find within our experience, even in this conditional life, is situated in the Supreme Lord, who is the ultimate source of everything. In our original relationship with the Supreme Lord, there is real love. That love is reflected through material conditions, but reflected pervertedly and not exactly. Real love means that which is continuous and without a break. But because that love is reflected pervertedly in this material world, love lacks continuity and is inebriating. Real love means that which is continuous and without a break, but because that love is reflected pervertedly in this material world, love lacks continuity and is inebriating. If we want real transcendental love, then we have to transfer our love to the supreme lovable object, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the whole basic principle of Krishna consciousness. In material consciousness, we are trying to love that which is not at all lovable. We are giving our love to dogs, to cats, with the risk that if we love cats and dogs too much, at the time of our death, we may be fixed in thinking of them and therefore take our next birth in a family of cats or dogs. Everything without love of Krishna leads downward. In the Hindu scripture, the chastity of woman is very much recommended. Why? Because if a woman becomes much addicted in love of her husband, at the time of death she will remember him, and in the next life she is promoted to a man's body. Man's life is better than woman's because a man has better facility for understanding spiritual science. But Krishna consciousness is so nice that it makes no distinction between man and woman. In the Bhagavad Gita, you will find if somebody, even if he is born in a low family, even a woman or a Shudra or a Vaishya, anyone who takes shelter of me is sure to achieve my association. That is guaranteed. And Krishna says that if these people can achieve the highest perfection of life, then why not the real Brahmins, devotees, and saintly kings? They are sure to achieve the highest perfection. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us information. First of all, you must know that in every country or every scripture there is some hint of love of Godhead. But nobody knows what love of Godhead actually is. That is the distinction between other scriptures and the Vedic scriptures. The others have some idea of love of God, but regarding how to love Godhead and what is Godhead, they have no idea. They promote official love of Godhead. But here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives a practical demonstration of how to love God in a conjugal relationship. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes the part of Radharani and tries to love Krishna as Radharani loved him. Krishna could not understand how does Radharani give me such pleasure. So in order to study Radharani, her life, Krishna lived her role and tried to understand himself. This is the secret of Lord Chaitanya's incarnation. That is explained in the next verse. This verse says, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord, who is absorbed in the modes of Radharani's thought. He is Krishna, but he has taken the mode of Radharani to show how to love Krishna. And what is Radha Krishna? Radha Krishna is the exchange of love. And what is that love? That this is not ordinary love. Krishna has immense potencies, of which three are principal: internal, external, and marginal potency. In the internal potency, there are three divisions: Samvit, Ahladini, and Sandhini. The Ahladini potency is the pleasure potency. We must always know that we also have this pleasure seeking potency. We are all trying to have pleasure. This is the nature of the living entity. We are now trying to enjoy our pleasure potency in this material condition with this body by bodily contact. But do you think that Krishna, who is always spiritual, will also seek pleasure on this material plane? What nonsense this is! Krishna describes this place as non permanent and full of miseries. Do you think Krishna is going to seek pleasure in this material form? How is it possible? He is the super soul, he is the supreme spirit. How can he seek pleasure in matter? Therefore, to learn how Krishna's pleasure can be obtained, we have to study the first nine cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the 10th canto, Krishna's pleasure potency is displayed as he plays with Radharani and as he plays with the damsels of Vraja. Unfortunately, people of less intelligence turn at once to the pleasure potency sports of Krishna in the Dashama Skanda, the 10th canto. These pictures of Krishna embracing Radharani or of the Rasa dance are unfortunately not understood by ordinary men because they do not understand Krishna. They will falsely understand that Krishna is like us, and just as we want to embrace a young girl, so he embraces the gopis. These people write books because they think that this is a kind of religion where we can indulge in sex and become religionists. This is called prakrita sahajiya, materialistic lust. One should understand what Krishna Radha, one should understand what Radha Krishna is. Radha and Krishna display the pleasure potency of the internal energy of Krishna. That pleasure potency of Krishna's internal energy is a most difficult subject matter unless one understands what Krishna is. Krishna cannot see any pleasure in this material world, but he has got that pleasure potency. Because we are part and parcel of Krishna, therefore that pleasure potency is within us also. But we are trying to exhibit that pleasure potency in matter, while Krishna does not. The object of his pleasure potency is Radharani. That means Krishna exhibits his potency or his energy as Radharani and then exchanges loving affairs with her. Krishna cannot take pleasure in this external energy. This is very difficult to understand, but just try. Krishna exhibits his internal energy, his pleasure potency, as Radharani. That means that Krishna manifests himself as he has so many extensions, so many expansions, so many incarnations. So Radharani is the manifestation of his internal pleasure potency. Radharani is also Krishna. There is no difference between the energy and the energetic. Without energy, there is no meaning to energetic, and without the energetic, there is no meaning to energy. Similarly, without Radha, there is no meaning to Krishna, and without Krishna, there is no meaning to Radha. Therefore, the Vaishnava philosophy first of all worships the internal pleasure potency of the Supreme Lord. It is always said Radha Krishna. Although the author is going to explain the intricacies of this pleasure potency, he first of all utters the name of Radha. Similarly, those who worship the name of Narayana first of all utter the name of Lakshmi. Those who are worshippers of Lord Rama first of all utter the name of Sita. Sita Rama, Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayana. The potency always first. Radha and Krishna are one. When Krishna desires to enjoy pleasure, he manifests himself. The spiritual exchange of love affair is the display of the internal potency or pleasure potency of Krishna. We say when Krishna desires, although just when he did desire, we cannot say. But we speak in this way because in conditional life we take it that everything has some beginning. In the absolute or spiritual life, there is no beginning, there is no end. But in order to understand that Radha and Krishna are one and that they became divided, that question, when, automatically comes to be asked. When Krishna desired to enjoy his pleasure potency, he manifested himself in the separate form of Radharani. Again, when Krishna wanted to understand himself through the agency of Radha, they became united, and that unification is called Lord Chaitanya. Why has Krishna assumed that form? That will be explained. What is the glory of Radha's love? Krishna asks. Why is she so much in love with me? What is the special qualification in me that Radharani is attracted to? And what is Radharani's process of loving me? He is the supreme. Why should he be attracted by anyone's love? He is full in himself. We search after the love of a woman because we are imperfect. The love of woman, that potency, that pleasure, is absent in me, and therefore I want a woman. But Krishna is surprised. Why am I attracted by Radharani? And what is the special significance in me that Radharani is so much attracted to? Now, when Radharani feels my love, what is her feeling? In order to taste the flavor or the quality, the essence of that loving affair, Krishna appeared as the moon appears in the sea. Just as the moon was produced by the churning of the sea, so by churning the spiritual love affairs, the moon appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whose complexion was just like the moon. This is figurative language, but it is the purport of why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared. The full significance will be explained in later chapters. The author of Chaitanya Charitamrita is describing the manifestation of the Supreme. After offering his respects to Lord Chaitanya, he next offers them to Nityananda. Who is Nityananda? He now explains. First of all, Nityananda is manifested as Sankarshana. Sankarshana is the origin of Mahavishnu, a form of God. This first manifestation of Krishna is Balaram and then Sankarshana. From Sankarshana to Pradyumna. In this way, the expansion takes place. It works in the same way as one candle is the origin and another candle is lit from that original and from that another and another. This is explained in Brahma Samhita. The Supreme Lord Govinda is the original candle, and from that original candle, many thousands of candles, one after another, are expanded, and they are called Vishnu. Just as one candle after another makes a very nice exhibition of light, similarly, Krishna has expanded himself into so many lights, and we are also lights. We are smaller lights, while Vishnu is the bigger light. But they are all Krishna, all expansions. That Vishnu, when there is a need of material creation, expands himself as Mahavishnu, who lies down on the causal ocean. From his nostrils, all the universes are breathed out. From that causal ocean, all the universes have sprung up, and this universe also is floating in that causal ocean. Outside is water. You have seen the picture of Vamana Deva when he expanded his leg up to the covering of the sky of this universe. There was a hole there, and through that hole, Karana water leaked in, and a little drop is flowing as the river Ganges. Therefore, the Ganges is accepted as the most sacred water of Vishnu and is worshipped by all Hindus from the Himalayas down to the Bay of Bengal. The Mahavishnu lying on the causal ocean is a plenary expansion of Rama. This Rama, when we say Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, this Rama means the Sankarshana Nityananda. The author of Chaitanya Charitamrita describes what is beyond this material expansion. The cosmic material expansion is called Maya because it has no eternal existence. It is sometimes manifested and sometimes not manifested. Therefore, it is called Maya. Krishnadas now says, beyond this manifestation, in the Bhagavad Gita, 8th chapter, it is explained that there is another nature which is eternal and which is beyond Vyakta and Avyakta. Vyakta means manifested and Avyakta means unmanifested. This material world has a manifested aspect and a potential state which is called non manifested. Beyond both the potential non manifested stage and the manifested stage, there is another spiritual nature. We are under we can understand this superior nature as the living force that is described in the Bhagavad Gita. The living force is manifest in this body. This body is of the inferior nature, matter. The superior nature is the spirit that is moving the body, moving the world. The symptom of that superior nature is consciousness. Similarly, beyond this material nature, there is another superior nature which is conscious. There, everything is conscious. We cannot imagine that. Here, the objects are not conscious. But in the spiritual world, the table is conscious, the land is conscious, the tree is conscious, everything is conscious. Now, you cannot imagine how far this material manifestation is extended. You have no measurement. Everything is calculated by imagination or by some imperfect method. But here we are getting information of what lies beyond this. Those who believe in experimental knowledge may inquire how it is possible. We cannot calculate how far this universe is extended, and we cannot reach even the nearest planet. So, how is it that we can obtain information beyond this material nature? That which is beyond your conceivable power is called achintya, inconceivable. What is inconceivable? Don't argue about. It is useless. How can you? It is inconceivable. That which is inconceivable to your limited energy, limited sense perception, How can you reach that plane by argumentative logic? Don't argue. Then how is it known? Accept it. The Bhagavad Gita says it has to be understood by the disciplic succession. Just as Brahma, the original creature, was given lessons by Krishna, Brahma imparted those lessons to his disciple Narada, and Narada imparted that knowledge to his disciple Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva imparted that knowledge to his disciple Madhvacharya, Madhvacharya on down to Madhavendra Puri, who imparted the same lesson to Ishwarapuri, and Ishwarapuri imparted the same lesson to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. People may ask that if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, then why did he need a spiritual master? Of course, he did not need any spiritual master, but just because he was playing Acharya, teaching how to behave in spiritual life, he accepted a spiritual master. Even Krishna accepted a spiritual master. That is the system. If you want to know that which is inconceivable, you must accept the disciplic succession. Because the knowledge is coming down from the Supreme. Down, down, down. It is perfect. Suppose 100 generations before, there was something confidential that your forefather told his son, which has finally been passed down to you. Although you are not in touch with the direct personality, yet because it is coming through disciplic succession, the same truth is expressed. How was Brahma informed of this sort of knowledge? That is also stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The original learned scholar is Brahma, and Krishna, the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, expressed transcendental knowledge into the heart of Brahma by the heart. So, two processes of knowledge exist. One process depends upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the Super Soul seated within you. He informs you, and he also expands himself as the spiritual master. The Guru also informs you. So, in both ways, from within and from without, the information is transmitted. We simply have to receive it. If we receive knowledge in this way, it doesn't matter that it is inconceivable. In the Bhagavatam, you will find much information about the Vaikuntha planetary systems, which are beyond the material universe. Just as with Chaitanya Charitamrita, the knowledge is there and you simply have to take it. But you have to receive it by the parampara system. You cannot approach the truth which is inconceivable to your experimental knowledge. It is not possible. We want to know everything by experimental knowledge. That is foolishness. It is not possible. According to the Vedic way, sound is evidence. Sound is very important in Vedic understanding. Sound is evidence if the sound is pure. In the material world also, you understand things thousands of miles away simply by sound vibration. As soon as you call by telephone or radio, there is sound. In San Francisco, 3,000 miles away, as soon as you receive the sound, Mr. Such and Such speaking, you understand. The evidence is sound. Where is the where is the informant? Is he standing there before you? No. But as soon as you hear the sound, you know. Sound is the most authoritative evidence. These things are received by sound vibration. We have the information that beyond this cosmic manifestation, there are the very extensive Vaikunthas. This material manifestation is only one fourth of the manifestation. There is not only this universe, but there are innumerable universes. Just as there are innumerable planets within this universe, so this is only one cosmos. There are innumerable universes. and all combined together, they are one fourth of the manifestation of the creation. The other three fourths of the manifestation is Vaikuntha Loka, the spiritual world. In that Vaikuntha Loka, every Narayana has his four expansions: Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva. That Sankarshana is Nityananda. These universes surround the body of the Supreme, and Vishnu is master of this material nature. As the husband and wife combine together to create, so Maya is the wife of the Supreme Mahavishnu. So Maya is the wife, and the Supreme Mahavishnu is her husband. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. This expansive material nature is my wife, and all the living entities are born of me. How is Vishnu contacting Maya? That contact is also described in the Bhagavad Gita simply by a glance. He glanced over the material nature and it became impregnated. This is spiritual. We must impregnate by a particular part of our body, but the Supreme Lord, Krishna or Vishnu, can impregnate any part by any part. Simply by glancing, he can cause conception. The reason why it is found in the Brahma Samhita. The spiritual body of the Supreme Lord is so powerful that any part can perform the duty of any other part. We can only touch with the hand, but Krishna can touch you by glancing. We can only see with the eyes. We cannot touch or smell with our eyes, but Krishna can smell and can also eat with his eyes. When we offer prasadam, foodstuffs, to Krishna, we don't see that he is eating, but simply by glancing at the food, he can eat. Simply by seeing. We have the idea, because we have this mouth, that unless we devour the whole thing, we cannot eat. But that everything is spiritual, that we cannot imagine. We see that we are offering to Krishna and he is not eating. Is it by our imagination that he is accepting prasadam? No, it is not like that. Actually, he is eating, but his eating is different from our eating. Our eating process will be similar to his when we are completely on the spiritual platform. There, every part of the body can act for the other parts of the body. You have seen that picture where Brahma is born from the navel of Vishnu, who is lying down, and Vishnu's energy, Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, is serving him, sitting by the side of his leg. Vishnu does not require Lakshmi to give birth to Brahma. How then can you expect that there is sex life in the spiritual world? Sex life here in this material world is required to produce children, but in the spiritual world you can produce children as many as you like without any help from a wife. So there is no sex life there. Vishnu produces Brahma from his navel without the help of his wife. There are many such instances. This is the inconceivable spiritual energy. Because we do not experience spiritual energy, we think these are fictional stories. No, you think that way because you have no conception of spiritual energy. It is so powerful that it can do anything and everything. It has full independence. We shall continue to read in the next session. Thank you so much for joining. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.